up, easy fam? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to another video on ASCP vlogs. If this is your first time tuning in, you're highly welcome to my channel. Please do well to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you're notified when next I make a post. Don't forget to check out my playlist, ASCP Preparatory Guide, that will lead you on everything you need to know about ASCP, from account creation down to booking and paying for your exam. And without further ado, let's get into the content of today. So today, guys, every time I try to do an up-to-date Q&A for you all, for those that are unable to go back to my previous videos and watch them, as well as, you know, just daily updates, if there are any updates at all that has been made in the ASCP system, I bring it up here for you guys to know. So the question number one says, how many hours did you study in each day for the ASCP exam? So like I said in my earlier video, I think that was the first video that I posted, my first video, which is how I passed my ASCP exam or something like that. I had said that I combined the ASCP exam with working, so I can't say I put in a certain amount of hours into reading for the exam, but I can say for certain the number of pages I decided to complete each day leading towards the exam. So specific hours put into the exam, put into reading for the exam, not really. But then I would say you should set a target for yourself. Set a target, maybe a couple of pages that you want to read. If you want to be reading 2 pages a day, if you want to be reading 3 pages a day, 4 pages a day, 5 pages a day, whatever your target is, then you should keep to that, and also make sure you don't, you know, get distracted along the line. So for me, my target was 10 pages a day. I made sure that I read 10 pages a day while preparing for this exam, and it worked out for me. So if that can work out for you too, well, that would be good. Yeah, so that's just it. I didn't spend specific hours reading, but rather I spent time, you know, using specific number of pages to be studied each day, and that worked out for me. So you should try that out too. So question number 2 says, what are your tips for a better score in the exam? My tip for a better score in the exam would be, I would say consistency is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You need to stay consistent with everything that you are doing. You need to stay consistent with reading. You don't want to be someone that gives yourself an excuse to slack. You always have to keep reading, and booking your exam too can also be a form of, you know, drive for you, because if you are just reading without booking your exam, then you wouldn't have that drive to read. So I would say you should book your exam. At least if you watch my previous videos, you would know that I used a period of 6 months to prepare for this exam. So the first 3 months I used it to jot, and then the remaining 3 months leading up to the exam, that was what I used to actually study and, you know, do other practice questions with the BOC guide and other things. So I would say you should set goals for yourself, set targets for yourself, and keep to those goals, but remain consistent. I would also say you should read to understand. Don't just read like fleeting reading, like skipping through the pages. Read to understand. I would also say you should use practice questions, like I said in my previous videos as well, so you should also go and check that out. I said I made use of some specific textbooks, and you can check that out in my video titled ASCP Study Essentials. So that will lead you on the textbooks, that will give you an insight on the textbooks that I made use of and the textbooks that worked out for me for each subject. I would highly recommend that video. You should go ahead and check out that video if you are having struggles with juggling different books and just trying to find out the best book that fits what you are reading. So just go and check out that video, and I believe that your problems will be solved, or your concerns rather. I believe your concerns will be, you know, taken care of. That's basically what I would say. For a better score, I would say you should focus on those key subjects that I mentioned in my video titled ASCP Study Essentials, which is in the thumbnail. And then you should try and do practice questions immediately after you're done reading each subject or each topic. Like if you're done with hematology, then you do BOC questions on hematology. If you're done with chemistry, you do BOC questions on chemistry, and, you know, and so on and so forth. So that would help you a lot. So we've dwelt so much on that topic. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, what was your ASCP score? My ASCP score was my ASCP score is rather Is it was or is? Anyway, 703. That's my score. Then the next question, what route should I apply for when booking the exam? So I would say you should apply for route 1, though there are different routes. You have route 1, route 2, up to 5 or 6 or thereabout. And some people get confused because they're like, route 1 says, if you have completed this, I did my eligibility test and it gave me this. Regardless of the eligibility test, I'll just tell you, I booked route 1, so go with route 1. And that's just it for that. Next question says, how can I access the textbooks and the study materials? I would recommend you check out the description box of my video titled ASCP Secrets Revealed, as well as the description box of my video titled ASCP Chemistry Practice Questions. So all links to all the study materials, all the textbooks, all the BOC guides are from BOC 5 to BOC 7. They are all in the description box of those videos. Go and check that out. Just click the link. All you would need to do is to send me a request, and I would grant you access to those books as soon as I can. These books are free. You are not to pay for those books. Anybody that is telling you that you need to pay to access books and study materials that we got for free, that person is just doing what is not the Lord's work. So those books are free and they are meant for you to access, and you can do that through the description box of these videos, guys. Don't pay for these textbooks. Never pay for the textbooks. Next question. How is your preparation for the PTE going? Oh, this person is so concerned about my preparation. Well, my preparation for the exam is going on well. So like you guys know, I'm currently on my master's degree program and I'm working as well. And I'm also doing content creation. So I just started my new TikTok page, which I'm trying to get monetized and all of that. So it's a whole lot to juggle all these things. But I have actively started reading for my PTE exam, like actively started reading. I remember when I initially started, I actually just wanted to give up and be like, I'm not writing this PTE safe. But I've actively started reading. I'm looking at taking the exam on around November period. So I've actively started reading for the exam, and I can say that though there has been, recent changes in the way the exam comes out, but I've been able to, crack the code and, just get everything together. So it's going on well. My PTE preparation is going on perfectly well, and I believe I'll be here to give my testimony on how easy it was and that I passed the exam. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. It's not far. So the next question says, what routes in PTE am I to choose? Okay, so I think this person is asking based on like the PTE core and the PTE academic. So if you are sitting for the PTE exam, you would want to go for the PTE academic. That's what you click on, PTE academic, not PTE core. And I know somebody is asking, what's PTE? Why are you talking about PTE? So PTE is an English-based exam that you write after your ASCP exam. So it's supposed to help during your visa screening process and all of that. So you would write it after your ASCP exam, basically. Next question. Where can I take the exam in Nigeria? So you can take the exam at Pearson VUE testing centers, and these centers are located in Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, and Kaduna and Ibadan. So in Nigeria, guys, take notes. In Nigeria, these Pearson VUE centers are located in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Ibadan, and in Kaduna. So these are the 5 areas that you can take this exam. So just look up any one of these areas. There is a Pearson VUE center for you to take your exam. Next question. How many weeks does it take ASCP to send an eligibility message after payment? So the eligibility message is like, I guess it's that you are eligible to write the exam and that you can go ahead and start reading and all of that. Well, it takes a period of like 1 to 2 weeks. I'm leaning more towards 1 week than 2 weeks, but 1 to 2 weeks is the time frame. Next question. What are the requirements to write the ASCP exam? The requirements to write the ASCP exam is that you must have completed your BMLS. You must be done with your bachelor's and then at least your 1 year training in internship. So that's the basic requirement for it. So you don't need to have like 5 years of, I don't think it's necessary. Personally, from my own experience, I don't think it's necessary. So the next question, if I have done my WES evaluation a long time ago, can I still use that for the ASCP exam? If you have done your WES evaluation a long time ago, let me say like years ago, yeah, you can still use it for the ASCP exam. All you need to do is to quote your EEI or your WES ID, depending on which one you did. Then you add your name and then the months you did your evaluation. So all you need to do is to put your WES ID or your EEI ID. You add your name to it, your full name. That's the name you have on your ASCP account that you created, and the name of the WES evaluation. Remember, I said that your names must be tallying. There should be no difference between all these names. Even the name of the document, your international passports, or whatever you used as a means of identification on ASCP website, all of them must be tallying. So after that, then you also include your evaluation months, the month you did the evaluation. However, I would strongly advise that you create an ASCP account before you do carry out any evaluation, and what you're doing is a course by course evaluation. So it's a course by course evaluation that you're doing. So I would strongly recommend that you create your account, get your ASCP ID, and before you start that whole process. So that's what I would strongly recommend. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says, do you have to take English tests before you start applying for a job? Actually, no. Immediately after you pass your ASCP exam, just start applying for a job, right? So just push out your applications. Just push out your applications while still reading for your PTE exam. So you don't have to wait and do all the stuff before you start applying. No, you don't have to. So you can do that immediately after you pass your exam. Just start sending out your applications. Yeah, that's actually something you can do. So the other question, next question says, when did you sit for your exam? So I sat for my exam on the 4th of January this year, 2025. Next question, if I have a WES evaluation, this is the last question actually. This is the last question. If I have a WES evaluation for Canada and now I want to switch to America, how do I go about it? So if you have an evaluation for Canada and you want to switch to America, the first thing you want to do is that you want to create a new account, right? A new WES account. So you're going to create a new WES account and you're going to create it with a new email. So you're not going to use that same email that you use for the Canadian one in the one for the USA. So you create a new WES account and then you send a customer service message to WES Canada that you need them to do a course by course evaluation. If you did a course by course evaluation, then you tell them that you want the document transferred to WES USA. So it's as easy as that. That's if you did a step by step or a course by course evaluation. So if you did that, you just tell WES Canada to transfer your transcript to WES USA, and you would also have to pay. It comes at a price, and the price is about $293 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's basically it. So with that, we've come to the end of this Q&A. I hope this actually answered most of your questions. If you have other questions that you would want to ask, you can do that by DMing me via my Instagram page, my Telegram page, also my TikTok page as well. I am always, available to respond to your messages and to also, help you in any way that I can. And I'll see you in my next video. Love you all.